So hi, small announcement before going to start the video. So, so in the upcoming videos, I'm going to solve lead code problems daily on each day uh, from the lead code platform. So keep in touch and try to remember coding from my end. Today lead code challenge is 2918 question number. And then the question name is minimum equal sum of two arrays after replacing zeros. Sometimes I will wonder by looking at this kind of questions. Okay, why? Because this question logic is simple, but the question, the way he defined the question was little tricky. Okay, so let's get started this video. So in this video, first I will go with the problem statement along with sample test cases. After that, we will see the logic, or you can say intuition, and finally we will see the coding part. Problem statement. So you are given two arrays num1 and num2 and they are consisting only positive integers. And you have to replace the zeros in the both the arrays with strictly positive integers such that the sum of elements of both the arrays becomes equal, right? So here the target is what? You have to replace all the zeros of the both the arrays with some positive integers such that the sum of all the elements of the both the arrays must be equal. Written our target is this. Okay, so written the minimum equal sum you can obtain. If it is not possible, you have to print the -1 as output. Okay, so here underline is minimal word. Okay, so you have to find out the minimal equal sum. How you can get this equal sum? By replacing the zeros of both the arrays with some positive integers. Okay. So to understand this question better way, let us see some sample test cases. So let us move on to first one. So in the first test case, so first of all, tell me what is the total sum of all these elements, right? 3 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 0. So this sum will be equal to 5 plus 1. So total sum is 6. Now, what is the sum of the next array that is nonce to which is not equal to 11? So, if you observe carefully here, these two sums are not equal. So, here as per question, if zeros are present in the array, you have to replace that zeros with any positive number. So, what I will do is to match this 11 and 6. So, what I will do is in the first array nums1, let me replace with 3. Okay, so now after replacing the first zero in the nums1, the sum of the array will be right 9. But still, this 9 and 11 both are not same, right? So now what I will do is, so I will increment. I will replace the second zero of the nums1 with some other number. So let me replace this number with 2, right? So now the total sum of the first numbers will be 11. But don't say the answer will be 11, okay? Because the second array also we have 0, right? So in the question he mentioned all the zeros of the both arrays must be replaced. So what I will do is here this 0 must be replaced. We have to replace at any cost, okay? So let me replace this 0 with 1. So now total sum is not 11, now it is 12. Now it is not matched. The both the array sums are not matched. So in the first array, what I will do is instead of 2, I will replace with the 3. Now what is my total sum of the first array? That will be 12. And the total sum of the array, second array will be 12. Now the both sums are 12 only, right? But you can say one more answer also. Sir, why you are replacing, for example, this is the one answer, right? So if you first case in the first case, what is happening if in the first array nums1, if three zeros, if first two zeros are replaced with three, right? So your sum we are getting is 2, right? And in the second array, the zero I am replacing with 1, so total sum again I am getting is 12. So the first way I am getting the total sum, equal sum is 12. But don't say it is a minimal. We don't know, right? So let us do one thing. So let us come back to the original question. So here we have 0, here we have 0, here we have 0, right? Now, so here total sum is what 6 and this sum is what 11, right? Now here what I will do, you can let me replace this 0 with 3, right? So now what is my total sum here? It will be 14, right? So now here, this is 16, this is 14, right? You have to make them equal by replacing zeros with positive numbers, right? So what I will do is, I will keep here 4, right? So now the sum is what now? 10. Now replace the next 0 with the 4. Now total sum of the first array will be 14. So both are same. So this is also one of the answers, right? So if you replace the first two zeros of the nums 1 with 4 and 4 and the 0 of the nums 2 with 3, your sum equal sum is what? 14, right? So for example, come back to one more come back to original problem. So we have 0 0 like this. So let me replace this 0 with 4, right? So what is my total sum here? Actually it was 11, 11 plus 4 15, right? So now what is my total sum here? It is 6. Nums one sum is 6 initially. So now what I will do is I will replace 6 here. So total how much here? Let me replace first 0 with 6. So how much here? 6 plus 6 is how much? 12. Now let me replace the second pair with 3. So now what is my sum here? 15. So total sums are same, but this is also one of the answers. So if you do like this, you get many answers. You can replace these zeros with any number, but finally you will get same sums. But out of all possible answer, our target is not to find all possible answer. Our target is to find the minimal equal sum. So out of these all possible answers, 12 is the minimal equal sum, right? So these 12 will come if you replace the 0 of the second array with 1 and the two zeros, right? So this is 12 and the two zeros of the first nums will be, right? So 3 and the 3, right? So this sum also equal to 12, right? So I hope you understood the test case one. So more test case 2. In the test case 2, so we have two zeros in the nums 1 and there is no zeros in the nums 2, right? So it means it is not possible to replace zeros in the second array. But anyway, let us write the sum values of nums 2. So what is the nums 2 sum value? It is 5. And what is the initial sum of the nums 1? It is 4, right? So you have to make this 4 into 5 or you can, it is not possible, right? You cannot make 4, you cannot change from 5 to 4. You can increase 4 to 5 is possible, right? So what I will do is the first zero I will replace with 1. Now what is the total sum of the nums 1? That will be 5 and 5. But this is not the answer because the second zero is not replacing here. As per question, every zero must be replaced with positive number. So it means that definitely the second zero also you have to replace with 1 or 2 any number. So if you replace the second zero with 1, the sum of the first nums array will be 6 and not 5. So it is not becoming equal, right? So in the same way, so that's why in the second example, for second test case, right? So highly the second test case, you cannot make the nums one sum and nums two sum equal, right? That's why for second example, it is impossible to bring the equal sum of the both the arrays. So that's why answer for second test case is supposed to be -1. So move on to third test case that the third test case. So let me write sum of first nums one. Okay, first array sum is what 6 and the second array sum is what. So this will be 9. So here 9 is bigger, 6 is smaller. So to bring this 6 to 5, you have to increment the nums one, right? So first of all, first zero is there. So keep 1 here. So now what's my total sum here? It will be 7. So 7 and 9 both are not same. Right? Now in the second zero, I will keep 2. So that it will become 9 and 9. Right? So this is my minimal sum. Right? So for second test, third test case, answer is supposed to be 9. Okay. So I hope you understood all these test cases. So if you are understood the problem statement along the test cases, feel free to try yourself. Otherwise, we will dive into the solution. Right? And the logic, small logic is there, so that we will understand the two examples. Okay. So let's see the first example. Let us take we have nums 1 5 0 3 2 0. So here I rounded up the zeros with square bars. Okay. In the nums 2 also 4 2 double 0 3 6 is my second array. So here in the question I mentioned, right? Every zero, see, we should not keep any zero left. Okay, we should keep every zero with some other number, but the sum should be minimum. So tell me what is the number that we can keep so that we will get a minimum sum that is one, right? So, so first what I will do is first I will add all the non-zero values, which is 5 3 2. So what is the total sum here? 5 plus 3 plus 2. So this sum will be equal to 10. Yes or no, right? Now, after adding all the non-zero values from the first array and storing in the sum one, right? And then you have to keep ones in place of all the zeros in the first array, right? Because the sum of the nums one must be minimum. So it means that every zero must be replaced with the smallest positive number, which is one. So that's why after adding all non-zero values, after storing that value in the sum one, I will keep all the zeros with ones and num one, right? So how many zeros were there in this? That is two, right? So I will take one more variable called zeros one. So you may remember zeros one denotes number of zeros in the first array. So here it was two, right? Now two zeros were there. Now what is the sum of all the ones which are replaced in place of zero? That is two, right? So we replaced two zeros with two ones. So it means what the sum of this ones here two. So here the final sum one will become the previous sum one, which is equal to the sum of the non-zero elements plus number of zeros in the array. So how many number of zeros are there? Two. It means I will replace two zeros with two ones. It means total sum of ones will be two. So this sum plus non-zero sum 10. So total sum one will become 10 plus 2, which is equal to 12. So finally this sum one will be the sum of the nums one will be 12. Sure, no, right? The same way sum 2 is what? So sum 2 is what? That is sum of non-zero values. So 4 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6. So this will be 6 plus 6, 12 plus 3, 15. And here how many zeros we have? 2. So number of zeros 2 will be 2. And we, as we know, right, the sum supposed to be minimum means zeros you have to replace with 1. So here we have two zeros. So what is my sum to value total? So that will be equal to previous sum to, which is 15 plus zeros I replace with ones. So total we have two zeros. So two zeros replaced with two ones means sum will be 2 plus total 15. So total this sum 2 will be 17. The total sum of second array will be 17. Okay. Now after calculating the sum 1 and the sum 2, then compare these two values. Are they same? No. It means that either you have to make someone to sum to, or you have to make sum to someone. But here actually, if you observe carefully, someone value is smaller than sum to. It means you cannot decrement sum to, you cannot decrease the value of sum to someone, right? Because all values of nums1 and nums2 both are positive values only. You cannot keep minus 3, minus 4 in place of zeros. And if you observe carefully here, someone is smaller. It is possible, right? So it is possible to increase the value of someone from 12 to equal to sum 2. You can make someone equal to sum 2 because someone is smaller value. And moreover, here in as someone is smaller, right, we have to add some values to this 12, right? So where you can increase the value, the zeros only, right? Here we are having two zeros. So to make this 12 to 17, definitely our target is at zeros only. We have to replace this zero with some other number. So what is that number? So simply in the first one, you can keep some other number such that this 12 plus some number equal to 17 I want to make. So what is that number? So that number will be equal to uh, 6. Yes or no? Right? That is already 12 was there. So 12 uh, plus 5 have to keep. Already 1 is added to this. That's why I'm keeping 6 here. So total, if you add 5 plus 6 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. So this sum will be equal to a total 17. 17 will happen. Yes or no? Now observe carefully. Someone is changed to sum 2 and both are same. Yes or no? Right? So here the observation is what? Observation is someone is smaller whenever someone is small and sum2 is a larger value. And one more important point is what? Here we have to increase the value of someone to make it into sum2. We have to increase the someone value. To increase the summon value, we should have at least one zero in the nums one. We should have at least one zero in the nums one. How many zeros in the nums one? We have two zeros. It means that it is possible to convert this summon value to sum to value. Yes or no? Right? Because we can keep any value in place of zero so that finally we can make someone to equal to sum to. But if in case someone is small, something is large, but in the first array nums1, we don't have any zeros. Is it possible to increase the value of someone such that someone will be equal to sum 2? Not possible. And so the observation is if someone is small, sum 2 is larger, and in the first array we should have at least one zero. We have two zeros here. That's why it is possible to make someone value exactly equal to sum 2 by replacing zeros with any random number. So no, here the answer is actually what? 6, and I will keep here it is what? So total, this sum will be equal to exactly equal to sum 2 which is equal to 70. Right? Vice versa also true. For example, sum 2 is larger. For example, sum 2 is smaller. For example, here sum 2 we got, let us take 12. Here someone is, let us take some 17. Okay. See, this for this example, someone is not 17. Okay. But for example, I'm taking. Here, if you observe carefully, someone is larger, sum 2 is smaller. So it means that sum 2 you have to increment. You have to increment the value of sum 2 so that sum 1, sum 2 will become same. To do that, sum 2 means what? Nums 2. Nums 2 should have at least one zero. Here, how many zeros we have? Two zeros. So definitely we can make a sum 2 exactly equal to sum 1. So I hope you understood this. For example, sum 1 is larger, sum 2 is smaller, but in nums 2 there is no zeros to increment to replace the larger values so that sum 2 will increase. So as there is no zeros in the nums 2, then it is not possible to increase the value of sum to value. As a result, it is not possible to make sum 1 and sum 2 both are equal. So in that case, answer is supposed to be -1. So I hope you understood this first example and the logic also, right? So move on to second example. So second example will be we will see, right? So here, what is my sum one value? So initially all non-zero values, right? 6 plus 3 plus 4, right? So 6 plus 3 9 plus 4, so it will be 13. And how many number of zeros in the first array? Two zeros we have here, right? And in the sum one value will be equal to previous sum one. So here zeros we have to replace with ones because that is the smallest positive number. So that 13 plus 2, how much it will be? 15. And comes to second array, 4 plus 3 plus 2. What is my sum to value? That will be equal to 7 plus 2, 9. And here, how many number of zeros here? There is no zeros in the nums 2. And what is my total final sum to also? 9 plus 0, it is again 9. So in this example, here, sum one value is larger, sum to small is smaller. It means sum to value you have to increment. So to increment the sum to value, we should have at least one zero in the nums 2. But there is no zeros in the nums 2. That's why it is impossible to make sum 2 to exactly equal to sum 1. So it means 9 you cannot make to 15 because there is no zeros in the nums 2 to increase the value of sum 2. So for this answer supposed to be -1. So I hope you understood this logic for this question. So let's write the code for this logic. So here I'm taking four variables here. Zeros 1 denotes number of zeros in first array, zeros 2, sum 1 and sum 2. And I'm taking every element from first array nums 1 and I'm adding that each value to sum 1 and I'm calculating the sum 1, right, which are all non-zeros. And in the same loop, I'm writing if condition here to count how many number of zeros in that first array, right? So this loop is calculating sum one value and the number of zeros in the first array. The same will be repeated for second array. That will be sum 2 and zeros to value will be. So after getting sum 1 and sum 2, so to this sum 1 you have to add number of zeros in the first array. I already told you because all the zeros in the nums 1 you have to replace with 1. We have 4 ones means we have to add that value 4 to this non-zero sum, right? In the same way, sum 2 will follow. Okay. So after getting these final sums here, that is in the first example, what is my sum 1 value we got here? Actually, uh, 12 we got, that is sum 1 is initially 10 and zeros 1 is how much? It will be 2. So sum 1 will be 12. Okay. So here, so what is my sum 1 value here? Finally, my sum 1 value will be 12, right? And here, how many? What's my sum 2 value we got here? It will be 15, right? And this is how much it is? 2. Number of zeros to value is 2. So sum 2 value is finally sum 2 value will be 70, right? So now after getting sum 1 and sum 2 value, just to compare this sum 1 and sum 2, both values are same or not, right? So here sum 1 is 12, sum 2 is 17. So both are false, both are not same, false condition. So either answer is neither sum 1 nor sum 2. If both are not same, then compare sum 1 and sum 2, right? Here, here I am writing this elif condition for someone is larger. If someone is larger, it means that sum 2 is smaller, right? So you have to increment sum 2 value. To increment sum 2 value, the second array should have at least 1 0. So this is the condition I'm writing. Okay, if someone is larger than sum 2, then second array should have at least 1 0. If it will have at least 1 0, then answer will be sum 1. Otherwise, if someone is larger, sum 2 is smaller, but in the second array we don't have any zeros. Right? That is the example number 2. Someone is larger, someone is larger, sum 2 is smaller, but we don't have any zeros in the second array. So it means answer is minus 1, right? So in the same way, this is for someone is smaller, right? If someone is smaller, right? If someone is smaller and sum 2 is larger, but in first array nums 1 we don't have any zeros, then answer is minus 1, right? So that is what I'm writing here. So if some there is no zeros in the first array, then answer is minus 1. If there is zeros that is greater than 0 means answer will be sum 2. So this is the code for this today's challenge. So please do subscribe and support the channel. Please do like and share to your friends. So we'll see you in the next video.